Caris Lount and I am a hearing care assistant here at Steven Hale Hearing. You may also know me from my tinnitus advocacy journey online, on social media. I've been sharing my experience online for about 4 years now, and that led me into wanting to work with Steven Hale Hearing as a hearing care assistant. I first met Steven about 3 years ago, where I found out that I had a hearing loss that required me to have hearing aids. I've actually had tinnitus my whole life, but it wasn't until university where I really started to struggle with it. My earliest memory was actually at one of my earliest birthday parties. I must have been about 4 years old, and I heard a balloon pop, and I ran to my mum explaining what was going on, what I was hearing, and she didn't understand what was going on, and she certainly couldn't hear the noise that I could hear, and that really stuck with me. At university I would go clubbing, I wasn't wearing hearing protection, and you know, a lot of people at university did deal with tinnitus after going to nightclubs, but it soon died off, and I was just really confused why my tinnitus was always there. And this experience really put my perception locked in on tinnitus to the point where I didn't know what to do, and tinnitus was consuming my whole life. That's when I tried to seek support. I went to my GP, who didn't really help me a huge amount, but he pointed me in the direction of going to an ear, nose and throat consultant, who then gave me a bit of peace of mind. And then I found out about Steven Hale Hearing through an opportunity to try out a device that he was offering at the time. So I went to see Steve, and I was just so grateful for all of his support and everything that he could do. And he actually made clear to me that my hearing loss is something that needs to be treated. I need hearing aids for it. I went to so many high street stores, and they said that I had a hearing loss, but it was nothing to worry about. So it was something that was completely at the back of my mind, and I didn't think, you know, was impacting me having tinnitus. Since becoming a hearing care assistant and obviously working alongside some of the best audiologists in the UK, I now know that tinnitus is very closely linked to hearing loss, and because my brain isn't getting enough external stimulation, it tries to compensate for what I can't hear externally, and it starts to make its own tune, which isn't very helpful. But luckily hearing aids can really help the problem. It can't cure tinnitus, but it can absolutely put it to the back of your mind. So for example, when I would go out into coffee shops, tinnitus would really just be there, and I wasn't able to catch everything in conversations because of my hearing loss. Since getting set up with the Phonak Spheres, these hearing aids here, they've completely changed my life. I've tried a few different hearing aids since learning about my hearing loss, but these ones have been just game-changing within a noisy environment. So they're a little bit bigger than some hearing aids, but they're behind the ear with a little receiver, a little microphone that goes by your eardrum, and it emits the sound that way, but they're pretty much invisible. But they're a bit bigger because there's a separate computer chip in there that deals with background noise, and you can see on the front of my ears, you can't see that I've got them in at all, and they fit perfectly with my glasses as well. And getting set up with hearing aids was an absolute turning point for me in regards to, you know, living happily alongside tinnitus. And I could not be more grateful for, you know, how I found Steven, and yeah, just changing my career path to working in one of the best audiology clinics in the UK. I can now enjoy social events, I can now enjoy, you know, learning new things, I can enjoy every single interaction that I have because I've got the technology to help improve my hearing and to help me combat the tinnitus head on. So it's just, yeah, an amazing thing. And if you are in the same situation that I once was, then get yourself down. I'd love to have a chat with you and talk about different options for what can help you.